Welcome. Today is Sunday, March 3rd, 2019. Here's what's what. Katherine Helmond, best known for her roles on Who's the Boss and Soap, has died. The Tony Award-winning actress died February 23rd at her home following complications with Alzheimer's disease. Katherine first gained stardom playing the ditzy matriarch Jessica Tate on the 1970s sitcom Soap, starring alongside Billy Crystal and Robert Guillaume. She earned 4 Emmy nominations for that role. She also earned 2 Emmy nominations for her role as the vivacious and provocative Mona Robinson on Who's the Boss. Katherine introduced herself to younger audiences in the late 1990s, playing Doris Sherman on Coach, and later as Patricia Heaton's mother in the hit series Everybody Loves Raymond. She also lent her voice to Lizzie in Disney's Cars. She most recently had a role on HBO's True Blood. She's survived by her husband of 57 years. Katherine was 89. Starting in May, millions of day trippers to Italy's ancient lagoon city will have to pay an entry fee. The price is set to double in 2020 and be used to keep the ancient islands clean. There are 25 million visitors to the city of Venice in northern Italy each year. Of these, about 14 million stay for just a day and often bring their own picnics. With no visible benefit for local restaurants and bars, and costs of cleaning up after the visitors growing every year, counselors have decided to put a price on entry. From May 2019, visitors will pay an entry fee of £3, about $3.50, for this year, and a planned £6 in 2020. Plans also include a variable fee depending on the number of visitors in the city at the time, on a range of £3 to £10 for entry. There are a series of more than 20 exemptions, including hotel guests, as they already pay a tax, children under the age of 6, people born, living, working, or studying in Venice, and their visiting relatives. This year will be an experimental one for the new charge, with fines in the region of £450 for non-payment. A city spokesman says, as in the case with museums, sports stadiums, cinemas, trains, and airplanes, Venice needs to have planned visits, which makes it sustainable for both tourists and the city. The popular view that music enhances creativity has been challenged by researchers who say it has the opposite effect. Psychologists from universities in Sweden and the UK investigated the impact of background music on performance. They found that background music significantly impaired people's ability to complete tasks testing verbal creativity, but there was no effect for background library noise. The researchers used 3 experiments involving verbal tasks in either a quiet environment or while exposed to background music with foreign, unfamiliar lyrics, instrumental music without lyrics, and music with familiar lyrics. They found strong evidence of impaired performance while playing background music in comparison to quiet background conditions. Researchers suggest this may be because music disrupts verbal working memory. Exposure to music with familiar lyrics impaired creativity regardless of whether the music also boosted mood, induced a positive mood, was liked by the participants, or whether participants typically studied in the presence of music. However, there was no significant difference in performance of the verbal tasks between the quiet and library noise conditions. This is because library noise is a steady-state environment, which is not as disruptive. The findings here challenge the popular view that music enhances creativity and instead demonstrate that music, regardless of the presence of semantic content, no lyrics, familiar lyrics, or unfamiliar lyrics, consistently disrupts creative performance in insight problem-solving. Turning to birthdays for today, March 3rd. Jessica Biel is 37. Jessica is an American actress, model, producer, and singer. She began her career as a vocalist, appearing in musical productions until she was cast as Mary Camden in the family drama series Seventh Heaven. The series is the longest-running series that aired on the WB channel and the longest-running family drama in television history. Jessica married singer Justin Timberlake in October 2012. They have one son, born in April 2015. David Faustino turns 45. David is an American actor and rapper primarily known for his role as Bud Bundy on the Fox sitcom Married with Children. Aside from his acting, he's been in the music industry, in the rap genre under the name D-Lil. Tone Loc turns 53 today. Tone is an American rapper, actor, and producer. He's known for his raspy voice and his hit songs Wild Thing and Funky Cold Medina, for which he was nominated for a Grammy Award. There are 17 days until spring begins. The spring equinox, also called the March equinox or vernal equinox, falls on Wednesday, March 20th, 2019, at 5:58 p.m. Eastern Time. This event marks the astronomical first day of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. Spring begins with the vernal equinox, which always occurs on March 19th, March 20th, or March 21st. For the first time in nearly 40 years, the spring equinox will occur on the same day as March's full worm moon. The last time these two events landed on the same date was on March 20th, 1981. March's full moon on the equinox will also be a supermoon, meaning that it will be slightly larger and brighter than most of the other full moons this year. The word equinox comes from the Latin words for equal night. On the equinox, the length of day and night is nearly equal in all parts of the world. With the equinox, enjoy the increasing sunlight hours with earlier dawns and later sunsets. There were 28 days in February. This year, all 28 of them were spotless. The sun had no sunspots for the entire month of February 2019. The last time a full calendar month passed without a sunspot was August 2008. At the time, the sun was in the deepest solar minimum of the space age. Now, a new solar minimum is in progress, and it's shaping up to be almost the same. So far this year, the sun has been blank 73% of the time, the same as 2008. Solar minimum is a normal part of the solar cycle. Every 11 years, sunspot counts drop towards zero. Dark cores that produce solar flares and CMEs vanish from the solar disk, leaving the sun blank for long stretches of time. These minima have been coming and going with regularity since the sunspot cycle was discovered in 1859. However, not all solar minima are alike. The last one in 2008 through 2009 surprised observers with its depth and side effects. Sunspot counts dropped to a 100-year low. The sun dimmed by 0.1%. Earth's upper atmosphere collapsed, allowing space junk to accumulate. The pressure of the solar wind flagged while cosmic rays, normally repelled by solar wind, surged to space-age highs. All these things are happening again. Portion sizes have risen dramatically over the past 3 decades at the most popular fast food restaurants in the United States. As a result, the amount of calories and excess sodium has also increased among fast food offerings. Average portion size nearly quadrupled for fast food entrees and more than quadrupled for desserts between 1986 and 2016. Calories and sodium content in entrees, sides, and desserts also increased significantly. Desserts packed on an extra 62 calories per decade, while entrees increased by 30 calories per decade. Meanwhile, sodium increased by about 4.6% of recommended daily value for entrees each decade, and 3.9% of daily value for sides. The portion size increase is largely responsible for the increase in calories and sodium. The American public is probably not necessarily picking up on the nuanced increases in portion size year over year, decade over decade. Menus at these restaurants offer more selection than ever. The total number of entrees, desserts, and sides increased by 226%, or about 23 items per year. The average amount of total daily calories represented by fast food has more than doubled, rising from 4% of total caloric intake in 1977 through 1978 to 11% in 2007 through 2010. Fast food restaurants are more popular than ever, with nearly 2 out of 5 adults eating fast food on any given day. Spider silk, already known as one of the strongest materials for its weight, turns out to have another unusual property that might lead to new kinds of artificial muscles or robotic actuators, researchers have found. The resilient fibers respond very strongly to changes in humidity. Above a certain level of relative humidity in the air, they suddenly contract and twist, exerting enough force to potentially be competitive with other materials being explored as actuators, devices that move to perform some activity such as controlling a valve. Researchers recently discovered a property of spider silk called supercontraction, in which the slender fibers can suddenly shrink in response to changes in moisture. The new finding is that not only do the new threads contract, they also twist at the same time, providing a strong torsional force. Spider silk is already known for its exceptional strength-to-weight ratio, its flexibility, and its toughness or resilience. A number of teams around the world are working to replicate these properties in a synthetic version of the protein-based fiber.